Good morning, third grade. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and that you've had time to read all of the things that you and your classmates shared. Um, I'm going to go right ahead and get started on the math assignment, and I'm going to go right to the pages that you have to work on. And so let's skip right to page 589. And you have to do problems 2 and 3 on this page. So let's take a look at problem number 2. Katie practiced the flute for 45 minutes. Then she ate a snack for 15 minutes. Next, she watched television for 30 minutes until 6 p.m. At what time did Katie start practicing the flute? Well, boys and girls, there's a couple of things here that are kind of helpful that we can kind of use as a way to solve this problem quickly. If you add 45 minutes and 15 more, let's do that. 45 minutes and 15 minutes. 5 plus 5 is 10. We're going to carry a 1, and we get 4, 5, and the 1 that we carried makes 6. Well, there's 60 minutes in an hour. So we can just take that hour and go backwards. So if she starts at, or she keeps working until 6 p.m., well, if we know that she practiced the flute and had a snack for 15 minutes, that's a whole hour before 6 p.m. So that would take us to 5 p.m., but then she watched television for 30 minutes. So if we subtract 30 minutes from 5 o'clock, 30 minutes, so right now we just took, she started at 6 and we took those 15 minutes away, and then we took 45 minutes away. We're back at 5 o'clock. Make sure that looks right. So we're at 5 o'clock now. But she watched TV for half an hour before that. So we're going to go back 30 minutes. And we are going to end at what time? Be sure to label that AM or PM. Number 3, Nick gets out of school at 2:25 p.m. He has a 15-minute ride home on the bus. Next, he goes on a 30-minute bicycle ride. Then he spends 55 minutes doing homework. At what time does Nick finish his homework? I'm going to use a number line for that. So I see that Nick got out of school at 2:25. 2:25. So that's my starting time. (2:25 p.m.) And then it says that he has a 15-minute ride home on the bus. So 2:25 plus 15 minutes. I'm going to add 15 minutes on here. And when I add that, now what time am I at? So I do 15 minutes, and now I'm at 2:40. Okay, but we're not finished yet, because then it says next he goes on a 30-minute bike ride. So it's 2:40 now. 30 minutes, half an hour. I'm going to look at my clock. It's 2:30. Or wait, it's 2:40 right now. So that's 2:30 to 2:40. It's 2:40 right now. And he's going to ride his bike for half an hour. That's 30 minutes. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20. We've moved to 3, 25, 30. Let's count that again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It is now 3:10. So we went 30 minutes to 3:10. I'll show you that. So 15 minutes was 2:40, and then half an hour, now we're at 3:10. But that's not finished yet, because now it says he spends 55 minutes doing homework. So now we have to count 55 minutes. So let's do let's count by tens. 3:20, 30, 40, 50. Uh-oh, here's 4 o'clock. Let's see. But have we gone 55 minutes? Let's see. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 to 4 o'clock. But he did 55 minutes. So 4 o'clock plus 5 more minutes. What time do we end? 4 o'clock plus 5 more minutes. What time do we end? Be sure to label that AM or PM. On the next page, number 1, Gloria went to the mall and spent 50 minutes shopping. Then she had lunch for 30 minutes. If Gloria arrived at the mall at 11 a.m., what time did she finish? Well, let's see. She got there at 11. a.m. and she shopped for 50 minutes. That would be 11 plus 50 minutes would be 11:50. So let's go to 11:50. 50 minutes. It's 50 minutes to 11. Or 50 minutes after 11, 11:50. But then she had lunch for 30 minutes. So right now it's 11:50. We need to count 30 minutes. So let's count by tens. 10, 20, 30. These are 10-minute intervals. So 11:50 plus 10 minutes would make 11:60. That's the same as 12 o'clock. That's noon. And then 10 minutes after 12, and 10 more minutes after 12. So you keep counting 10 minutes back or forward and tell me what time she ended. And now when we went from AM, once we get to noon, are we still in AM or should we change that to PM? So write the ending time. Number 2. The ball game begins at 2 p.m. It takes Ying 30 minutes to get to the ballpark. At what time should Ying leave home to get to the game 30 minutes before it starts? Now that's a little bit tricky. You have to read that really carefully. Most of the time, when you have a game to play, the coach wants you there 30 minutes before the game starts. Coach doesn't want you to show up at game time. You need to do some warm-ups and make sure everyone's there and get ready for the game. So if we have to be there half an hour before the game, we have to the game is at 2, so half an hour before the game would be 1:30. So I have to be there at 1:30, and it takes me half an hour to get there. So half an hour before that, I need to leave home. What time do I need to leave home? Let's go on to our review. Number 3. It says, write the fractions 2/4, 2/8, and 2/6 in order from least to greatest. Well, you notice we have different denominators. So that means I'm going to draw myself 3 circles. And one of those circles I'm going to break up into 8 equal pieces. One of those circles I'm going to break up into 4 equal pieces. And one of those circles I'm going to break up into 6 equal pieces. Now it says 2/4, so I'll shade 2/4. 2/4, it's shaded. 2/8, I've shaded. And 2/6. Now when I look at these, I can definitely tell which is the smallest amount, and I'm going to write that first on the line. Then I can see what the second or middle amount is, and I'm going to write that second. And my last number is the number that represents, my last fraction represents the biggest number. Number 4, find the unknown factor. 6 times is 36. Remember that? 6 times 7 is 42. 6 and 8 went on a date. They came back with 48. 6 times what is 36? Number 5, there were 405 books on the library shelf. Some books were checked out. Now there are 215 books left on the shelf. How many books were checked out? I'm going to subtract, and I'm going to make sure that I borrow. Okay, do it carefully. Number 6, Savannah has 48 photos. She places 8 photos on each page of her photo album. How many pages in the album does she use? Let's see, I have 48 photos, and I'm going to place them into my book 8 at a time. So I'm going to group them into 8s. "48 divided into groups of 8. Write your answer. See you later.